Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Sunday Night Ragchew. Here we are again.
Howdy, y'all. How's everybody doing tonight?
All right, Jason's stream's still going, so we may not get some people for a little bit. No big deal. We got all the important people here, right? 45, Hollywood, K2AUB's World. Let's see, who else? 45 Auto, Pamela. Welcome, everybody.
How's everybody doing tonight?
James, welcome. I sent a couple invites to Kelly and I feel like I need to reverse my camera. I feel like I should be looking at you. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. There. Now I feel better. I sent an invite to Kelly and Scott, the two main what do you call it?
The organizers.
Thank you.
Poobahs,
the two main organizers of GoKit Challenge. I told them join if they'd like, just to come on and chat a little bit, come and go as they please. But hey, welcome Chris and Chris. So we'll see if they pop on. But tonight is going to be basically all about what went down at GoKit Challenge 2025 here in North Texas.
So K2AUB, yeah, we've been through the winds ourselves. GoKit was pretty dusty. Let's just say that. It wasn't as dusty as the day before. So I'm glad the winds have died down for you too. So
quick shout out. He's not in here yet. Paul Grouch from New Hampshire.
Oh man, that's awesome. I would love to have one of those.
Got his QSL card and his sticker.
Sweet.
That's awesome. Got the N1, is it N1JUR, I think? I can't remember what that is. And Tank Radio's got his for yesterday. So it's filling up. And I've already filled this one up.
He had a few.
This one's good because I like the size of it. And it's, he just joined us, Scott. Nice timing, Scott. Bring him in here. The Hamstop mug or whatever you want to call it. Digital Rancher. So I filled this one up pretty much. I had to get my other one. Welcome, Scott. Thanks for coming, man.
Excuse the mess.
That's here. We just need Kelly to make the trifecta, but the fourfecta, I guess.
I was just gonna say, only join the live stream when the background is perfectly clean.
Never gonna happen.
Speaking of which, how's my lighting? I've
Looking
done the
good.
upgrade of my lighting. Is it much better? You don't have the deep shadows on my face.
Just get a makeup girl. I got a makeup girl. Takes care of the circles under my eyes.
There you go.
Hey, I don't see anything printing, Scott. What's up with that? Back there.
Yeah, there's nothing printing, although
all right.
It's stacked. It's got to be through the laser off the side. And a few things I don't want to show.
But speaking of printing, Night Sky D gave this to me yesterday. That's pretty awesome.
Night Cry, I think.
Night Cry or Night Sky?
I think it's Night Cry. Daryl.
D, are you on?
I call him D. Night Cry Daryl. He's one of my Razorbacks, him and Jordan.
Yeah, he's usually on here.
45 thinks you're gorgeous.
Thank you, 45 Auto.
Oh, man. I still got my Fuji.
You ever seen angry reactions? He's always really angry at all of his reactions, but he's like, gorgeous! You're awesome!
We watch a guy that I think is hilarious. I think Australian. He does reactions to alien or ghost videos. And he's just funny. He's kind of Jim Carrey-esque. It's Casper Site is his YouTube channel. And whenever there's something like oversized or like they went to this house that was supposedly haunted, it was huge. It was like 2 floors, it looked like 18 bedrooms. And he'll always use the word Maxim. He'll go, Maxim house, please. Every time something pops up. And even though he does it all the time, it catches me off guard, but it's hilarious. Casper Site's pretty funny to watch. All right. Well, Scott.
So question.
Yeah.
How's my audio? I'm working with new microphones as well as new lighting.
Ray. Michael doesn't trust me. He's been asking me. I told him the lighting is good, audio is good.
I want to hear how it sounds in YouTube land. Does anybody?
Everyone give Michael an audio report. He doesn't trust me.
Well, we're working through StreamYard. StreamYard's very different from YouTube and stuff, but I'm using the same microphones I use on the event. That's why you see the little black square. 5'9". Thank you, 45 Auto. Appreciate that.
So real quick, Jordan's here now. So yeah, big shout out. Michael did it. He's talking about shout out. We didn't shout him out on here yet. Michael shouted him out. So if you guys haven't, you want to see the full video, Michael did a live. It's about an hour, right?
Yeah, it's 58 minutes, right?
And then like a 40-minute video today.
Yeah.
Ish, 40 something.
45 something. 40.
So if you want to see so I didn't live stream. Michael did. Tank Radio was there. He'll probably put a compilation video later. But if you want to see the videos on the GoKit challenge, check out Getting Out on Life's channel. He did a live stream on Saturday. He did a video today. And between the two, you'll get a great idea of what was there. So what we're going to do tonight, because I didn't really video or interview everyone, I got too busy socializing, which is what I end up doing at every event. We're going to look at Michael's video. Yeah. We're going to look at Michael's video. I'm going to skip to each radio. And between Michael, Scott, and myself, we should be able to get out what the radios had. And maybe some of them will show up, like D may show up tonight. Jordan's here, but I don't think Jordan had a radio, right?
No, Jordan didn't have a radio, but he had something very, very important.
Yeah.
He had those delicious, succulent.
Yeah, and if I can remember where it's at, maybe you can. We'll pop that image up from your video.
I don't think it's on the live, but it is definitely on the
okay.
The regular episode.
Yeah, those were delicious, man. Jordan were delicious. Jordan is the other Razorback. Thanks for the support, Jordan. And anyone else in green there with the marks next to their name, those are our channel supporters as well. Appreciate y'all. Thanks so much. So I don't know. Give me a summary, Scott. What did you think? How did it go for you?
I'm never going to another one again. I'm kidding.
You're never going to another one again in Flower Mound.
Never. We've been doing this now for 7 years, and we have succeeded what was originally set out 7 years ago. Kelly has a GoKit.
Yeah.
That was the entire goal when we started this, was for me to get an idea and to him to get an idea and build GoKits. Well, y'all saw his on Saturday. Mine's been around for a couple of years, and it's changed a couple times since we did it. But Kelly's was there, and Michael has proof that Kelly has a GoKit. And I mean, you got to think, when I came into Ham Radio, Paul, you'd been there for a couple of years. Michael had been there for a couple of years. Laird was there, and we always heard about with the e-com guys, because Guy Story was the leader at that point, and we heard how you should have a Go bag and you should have a GoKit. And some of us that were coming up were going, "What's a GoKit? What's one look like? I ain't got a clue." Well, Gerald showed me the county ones, and in fact, we even developed some that went out to locations throughout the county. But we still had really no clue as to what a GoKit could even be. And yeah, there you go. There's Kelly's. Paul's got a picture of Kelly's up there.
And the reason I'm showing you this is because the live stream video that we're taking some from, Michael said he doesn't think that he has Kelly's on this.
No,
he has it on the video.
I may have given a glance to it, but the main episode has Kelly being forced to show his GoKit there. And it's beautiful, and it actually inspired me. It says, if you see it closed, you gotta watch the main episode on it. It says the Grand Star Line.
Grand Star Line here.
And it's got a little ship on there with 3 smokestacks on it, if I can talk correctly. And so the Titanic was the White Star Line. So I said, well, at least it's the Grand Star Line. It's not the White Star Line. And Paul asked if it was a watertight case in case it sinks. So kind of dark humor there, Paul. But
that was the live stream, right?
That that inspires. No, was it live stream?
Oh, I can't remember.
I can't remember either. No. It was on the main episode. You need to have a little tracker nearer to God TV or whatever they played when the Titanic was sinking. But that inspired me, and I told Scott this, and I told Kelly this during the after feeding when we were eating lunch afterwards, and I said we got to have a steampunk category because Kelly really inspired me on that. Now we can make Go boxes and make them all sleek and modern and everything, but Kelly having a leather lined case with wood inside of it, putting in a classic radio, that was awesome. I love that.
So I have a question for Michael.
You want me to bring a GoKit?
Yeah, I want you to build a GoKit and enter a GoKit, because in the number of years I've known you, I've seen Paul's, and I've seen multiples of Paul's, but I've yet to have ever seen Michael's GoKit.
I got better ones. I'm tempted to enter all 3 categories next year.
And you should.
I got to knock Scott off his pedestal of 3 wins.
Scott Croft, it's on.
I have Go cases, and I've featured one of my Go cases on the second PUTA video. And it's basically a box full of coax, power supplies, radios, and such. So I do need to assemble it in a GoKit sometime soon.
In chat, and here we'll discuss this question real quick before we get into the challenge, but from Ray, if anyone in chat has something, throw it in the chat. And what do you guys say to this question here? There he is. See, it's Nightcry. I was right. Nightcry DePaul. His will be the first radio we're going to look at.
I called you Night. What did I call him? Night
Sky.
Night Sky. Okay. So Ray's saying, so I do disaster response work here. I'm new to this kind of stuff. Not with GMRS. What would you guys recommend for a radio that is meeting with 50 watts for UHF, maximum of 100 watts for VHF for my box? So my question first is, why would you want 100 watts VHF? I think a 50 or 25 watt radio would probably be the best. And I'm coming from an emergency coordinator side of things. Now, if you're running HF, 100 watts makes total sense for something like that. So, but great question. Great question. My new favorite radio right now, it is a FTM 500, because it does the fusion, and it also does the analog as well. But I have a Lincoln in the garage that does 25 watts, and I can talk on all the area repeaters with it. And
those 500s will be dropping in price now that the 510s are out.
Yeah.
I just watched why I should buy one over on Jason's channel.
Yeah, Jason was on the 510 with is it Roger? I just forget.
Yeah. And unfortunately I missed that tonight. And I just don't I don't understand the need for. I like my 500. Let's just say that.
I don't think that was the radio that needed an update. It didn't make sense to me either, but whatever.
Yeah. I've got 3 500s.
Hey Don, welcome.
I've got one that was in the kit. I have to say, I did not get my 500 first. I did. We went to the store. I've told that story to everybody local. How
Don.
Some of us ham husbands just don't catch a clue. When your wife says the radio's a pretty radio, buy the radio, or you're liable to not get to buy any more radios.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you will make the trip back to the store if you don't. And yeah, I didn't get mine for like 6 months after I bought hers. And then finally got it in the truck. And we just added one to the GoKit here before they released the 510.
Yeah.
So if you're doing an emergency response, really, any 50 watt radio would be fine. Even a 25 watt radio when you're doing UHF, VHF. Now, when you're doing, if you're going to do HF, the standard is pretty much 100 watt. And I really can't recommend one bringing it over another. They all work. Now, if you're needing to do stuff like, if you need to do like okay, we live in Texas. We have a repeater system. I'm going to call it that. That runs on Fusion. They're all linked through the internet and other means. That runs from all the way from North Texas down to Austin and down to Houston, called the Texas Nexus. You need a Fusion radio for that. D-Star. D-Star's all over the place, and it was the coveted digital source for emergency management for a long time. But other digital modes have really proven their worth. So I think more important is get the basic analog. But as far as digital modes, be part of a group. We're very fortunate being Paul, Scott, and I are all part of Denton County Aries. And we have our hands on resources that are not our own radios as a part of that process. So OPRs, other people's radios, or government-owned assets, GOAs, as I call them. Take advantage of everything there, and understand it's better to be part of a group than to being the lone wolf when dealing with situations such as disasters. So,
yeah, Ray, I think what you need to be looking more at is just like 50. It'll be a 50 watt max most likely. And you can go, it'd probably be like 10, 20, 50, or 25. But for the most part, when you're doing MCOM and stuff locally, especially if there's still repeaters up, the medium power is going to be sufficient in the 20 watt range.
I know we've done simplex nets that we've all participated in. And I've been able to do simplex here at my place, even under a ridge. Over to Frisco with 50 watts, and I'm not using a beam. I was using a vertical, and that gets out there and goes. And if I need to send something further than that, there are relay stations that are in the areas close enough that if we needed to send something from where I'm at and I couldn't make it further, that's what radio operators are there for, is to relay that stuff. Now, I probably will put up my own beams later this year for 2 meter and 70 centimeter, just because it seems to be the right thing to do. But yeah, that or build more GoKits. I've got 2 more boxes for GoKits.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to Harbor Freight tomorrow and grab one more kit. 100 amp hour
go
battery.
On Saturday? For shame.
No, so I'm hoping there's a sale. We'll see.
So I got kits, and Chris is talking about how he has every radio I have is in the GoKit of some kind. I have one that's a base station. I have my 500 that's going to be in my mobile that's on my base station right now. But I have my HF kit sitting right over there on the other side of the love seat. I have, because Paul and I were discussing it today, I'm charging up all my HTs too. So you got to charge them up on occasion. You can't leave them on the charger because most ham radio HTs, they don't stay charged. There's no float charge on them like the Motorola's and the more expensive public safety radios. So.
If they're marine radios, isn't there a float charge? Hi. Okay.
But
that's my bad dad joke for the night.
But Chris, I'm like you. Most of my radios are GoKit ready. I can take them anywhere except all but my 7900. Which is my old mobile radio that I used to use when I was doing Skywarn storm chasing or storm spotting.
Missed it.
But everything else is ready to get out the door. So what did you miss?
I'm ready to move. I've got a 710 AES that's here on the desktop and a Flex, and I'm going to move both those into GoKits. I'm probably going to redo how I do my desk. And I'm going to stack GoKits on the desk. Is what I'm going to do. I like the old school pipe type stuff that I've got on the desk, but I think more practical would be to put them in GoKits. That way, if I want to go somewhere, I can close them all up and take it and go. And it'd be easy enough to just move them out the door quickly at that point.
We're not going to laugh at anything, Ray. You're worried too much, man. All of us have Baofangs and TYTs and QYTs, and I don't know,
EYT,
XYJs.
Balfwang. I think that's what not a Rubicon calls them.
Because what you have to look at too is, don't just jump in, get your license and go, oh cool, I'm going to buy an ICOM 7300, or I'm going to buy a Yaesu 10. You just don't know. Get a feel for it. Join a club. Use some of the radios. Get a feel for the one you like, and then purchase a little more expensive radio when you have the money.
That's right, Jordan. Flex GoKit, beast of a GoKit.
I'm looking at the 7300 right now to make another GoKit with a full, kind of not full size, but bigger than my 891.
Eric Gildersleeve in our area had a Flex and a GoKit for a while. I thought it would be cool. I don't know that I'd want to take it out in a dusty environment.
Yeah.
Where I don't have good power, but yeah.
I'm not going to bash the Flex. Flex is really cool if you're trying to pick out weak signal stations, and you can slice and dice and everything nice with it. But some people want them as GoKits. Personally, that's not my choice. I just want something raw and analog the best I can, because you don't know what resources are there, or Flex is just one of those that are so deep into technology, and for me, but I mean, there's some amazing stuff that radio can do that most radios cannot. So, but sometimes you just need the raw deal, and sometimes it's not necessarily the radio that you have. Believe it or not, it may be a radio that somebody else has, and they're bringing to the scene. And everybody works together with it. And so, the important thing is to get your radio skills up. And I'm lacking in a lot of areas. Like I've never worked with D-Star. I've never touched D-Star. I'm registered for D-Star, but I've never worked it. So that's a skill set that I need to learn. I need to learn more about the Flex radio. There's a lot. Make that your focus. Because I know radios are expensive, and 45 Auto was just mentioning that. Man, I wish I could have this radio and that radio. So learn it. But learn about the radios. Get involved in a group. I just think we're very fortunate in Denton County that we have. So good point.
So real quick to Tim's point, what it comes down to, in my opinion, is, I think for most of us, or maybe all of us, you start off with what you can afford. And as you get into it, just like you don't get your ticket and know everything ham radio, right? You learn as you go. It's the same with the radio.
Correct.
You're going to find radios you like. I got into Yaesu right away because I got a good deal on a Yaesu. But guess what? I have mostly Yaesu, but I love ICOM screens. So I got a 705 and I'm looking at a 7300. They're beautiful. So you've got to take your time before you spend money. Use some of the radios. Go to the field days. Go to the winter field days. Go to a Go Box Challenge. Look at the radios. Clubs will let you use them and find the one that you like that fits you. It's kind of like, I'm not going to go on a tangent with this, but it's like an EDC with pew-pews. Find what fits your hand. Find what works for you. Find what you pew-pew best with. That's the one you should buy. All right. That's all on that.
Right.
We could keep going on this, but we're gonna miss our time talking about these GoKits at the challenge that double clicked that may answer some of the questions, may help. 1 second. It's not going to help. That stupid bird is gonna chirp right.
I couldn't even hear the bird.
Yeah, I've been adjusting my noise canceling to not hear it, but it goes right through the door. I've got like a 1-inch gap under the door because I took carpet out.
I couldn't hear it all.
These guys, Paul.
What's that, Mike?
The call signs for each of these guys that you're going to show.
Oh, well, this one's partial. Because what I'm going to do is
this is Night Cry.
It's a partial, but what I'm going to do is go through his video, just do a still, and then we're going to talk about the radios. I don't know. There's a way to cancel that out. Well, the thing is it's on video. It's on YouTube videos, so it's already out there. My mess. Okay, so Nightcry D. Paul, this is his.
It wasn't a mess. That was cool, dude.
No.
That was
first
awesome.
of all, you see this little unit right here? It's so cool. That's why I put it on the thumbnail for the stream tonight. So D, we're going to talk a little bit about it, each of us as we understand it. But if you want to throw comments in, feel free to let us know. But all I know is he had this group of Mesh-tastics. He set one up, and I connected to it with my phone. So we had a Mesh-tastic setup. And if I remember right, he said that this is the hub or router, I believe, with the solar panel here. 891 in an Armalock case. I forget the name of this. D, you're going to have to put it in chat. The little computer was incredible. Little like 4 or 5 inch screen, but looked so good. And then a power bank here, maybe. What did you want to go over with it, Michael?
Well, Paul, I just want to let you know you're clipping on your audio.
Probably from the always cancel.
Well, this is Mesh-tastic, and he's got all these little Mesh-tastic nodes that he lined up by his cup there. And by the way, he has this very thing that he gave to me. So I see that in the video there. That is amazing. That's not necessarily ham radio, but can be used within and without ham radio. And I think there's just some people that have the engineering process in their mind. I'm more of a practical application person, but this is a person that I definitely want to have on my team if we're trying to set up for everything's knocked out system. You know, cellular's knocked out, landlines are knocked out. D would be one of those that'll be able to continue to communicate and have the means to do so and have the knowledge of how to communicate as well. So I was very impressed with this setup. It's kind of inside and outside of ham radio, being Mesh-tastic, but that was pretty impressive. And plus, we filmed him on the live stream, and he was doing some HF work as well.
So that's the console there, that little computer. So you can check that out if you want. Yeah, he's got a lot to this. This is a really good MCOM's complete setup, in my opinion. Bagged very well, and gives you this Mesh-tastic setup too, which is awesome.
So very impressed, D. Appreciate that.
I'm gonna remove it every time I forward to the next one. That was the best overall image I could find, and that's kind of all I'm doing is finding each radio and getting the best overall image of the radio. So let me find the next one. Oh, here's the strange fellow that showed up.
Oh, Frank.
Hey, Colin, welcome, brother.
So if you watch on the main episode, and you can see the Prism Live logo on the bottom right. But if you watch on the main episode, Coleman brought a Morse code key, and it's actually it works through electrical connections. It's not mechanical. It's not a mechanical paddle. So he used trophy brass. So trophy brass is the brass, and then there's a plastic sheeting over it. So you had to cut little loops in the plastic sheeting for the connection to happen between your hand and the paddle. And I could never get it to work right. Most people couldn't. Frank walks up. Frank does it immediately, and he doesn't know a single letter.
He's got an electric personality.
There you go. He glows. He says he glows in the video, so that was great. Okay, this is David's.
Can you go over this one, and I'll move to the antenna after you talk about
So David just had a very simple setup. He had his battery there on the upper right corner. I forgot what size battery it was. And then he had his battery charger on the table there. And by the way, if you look, that table looks a little brown because of the dust storms we had. he's got a little TYT radio. It's probably a 25-watt radio, not that expensive. He's got a military mast going with the tripod set up on the military mast, which is where you're going to go to next. So you see the tripod set up there, and he's got a little J-Fong type J-pole ladder line antenna there. So one side of it's a little bit longer than the other, and
like the NE4 TX.
I don't
this
know
right here. What's this cool device right here? I wonder what this does.
That right there is the Skyhook, which we mentioned.
That's the 2x6 Skyhook.
And he's actually got two
Remember,
he's got two Skyhooks on that. He's got one at the top and one at the bottom. And the Hamstop. So y'all could stop correcting me. I got the wrong website last time. Hamstop.com goes to what is it? PowerWorks. But
I can't remember.
Hamstop.com goes to the Etsy shop where we have we have those Skyhook products there. So just want to make sure.
God is gracious enough to give anyone that uses my code, which is in the description, you get a discount buying with my code. So check it out. I don't have a photo, I don't think, of mine, but I was using one as well with an ATAS on a regular tripod. It's a tripod from Alpha Antenna, and it screwed right into it, plugged the ATAS in, and I had to hook it off. I connected to my truck's hood mount where normally the ATAS goes straight on it. I added a jumper and put the tripod out 5-10 feet in front of my truck. So yeah, those Skyhooks are awesome.
And
don't buy them without the discount. Use the discount. That's what it's there for.
Yeah, it's there for a reason.
So I just want to give a quick shout out to Colin and VK. He was watching during my live stream and commenting. He said it was after 2 a.m. in the morning, and he couldn't sleep because that live stream was going on. So that was pretty fun. So said he got a little bit of rain. Power grid seems to be working properly again. He went with
that, Paul.
What's that?
Above that. Look at the yellow thing in the middle of that. Those are a rare beast.
Yeah,
Those
you can't
really
find them.
Yes.
If you find one, buy it, keep it, and cherish it because they're not anymore.
I was focusing on this, Scott, because this is his second Skyhook, the cleat, right?
Right. That's it.
So what it is it's got the cleat on this side of it, fits between the masts like the others, but see how he's got the guy rope tied off to it? So that's another addition you can get, and makes it really useful.
So just to let you know, Colin was without power, and it's March, and it's 107 degrees outside. He's in Australia. So, but all of his GoKits and everything were running well. So it's a good idea to have as many GoKits and options that you have.
Is it Ray? No, not Ray. I forgot his name. Yeah, Ray. If you're still here, you'll notice the TYT mobile here. Very basic setup, right? Just a basic ladder line J-pole, basically, is what it is. And he took the prize for 50 and over, right, Scott? Oh, bring Kelly in.
Yeah, David got 50.
Well, we can't bring Kelly in. His device is not connected. So.
Oh, okay.
Kelly's trying to come in.
So this is the winner of the 50 and over, 50 megahertz and over, for technicians, to give technicians encouragement to make a GoKit.
Thanks for the sub.
Hey, thanks, Nelly Cow. Nanda Kumaran. Hope I got that right. Okay, well, let's move on. So that was the winner of the 50 and over. And we'll just get to, okay, this one was just awesome.
Oh, yeah, Penny.
What's her name? Penny? So see if I can get the whole view of it.
So Penny has mobility issues, and she got a scooter, excuse me, And her boyfriend, she said, "I want a radio for the scooter." And her boyfriend got her a 300 FTM 300, and they ran the wires through. And the back is where the radio is. And if you watch the video, you can actually hear the radio speaking, and it's clear as a bell.
Here's the radio. Oh my gosh.
And she liked my dead cats. She thought it was funny to
hear. So she's got a Lido clamp mount for the handlebar. Come on, come down a little bit. There we go. So there's the head. The 200. 200 or 300? Was it
300?
300.
Yeah. And you can see right here nicely with the cable organizer stuff, that ribbed stuff with the slot in it. Nicely organized underneath. She was a little discouraged. She really thought she was going to win. And I think she would have had a better chance if it was out and noticeable. It just really wasn't noticeable in that corner.
If it was in the mobile section out front, I think she might have won. And I
think so.
It could have qualified for either.
Scott, but that was cool. Peyton
and
Peyton.
Kelly.
Kiddos.
Hold on.
Let me say hello to them. Hello, Peyton.
We missed you.
Yeah, I was over at my mother's. That was sad. But thank you, Paul. Thank you for
you're welcome.
Potatoes.
I have to ask Peyton, did your dad get your lipstick?
Oh, yeah. Peyton liked those freeze-dried Skittles so much.
That was beautiful.
So I did not get my lipstick yet. You won't mind me.
Okay.
Busted.
Okay, you gotta get the lipstick, Paul or Kelly. Hello.
No, I provide the freeze-dried Skittles, not the lipstick. So the batteries in that canvas bag there, really nice. She should not be not proud of what she had there, but I talked to her before she left, and
yeah, he has a whole bag in his bedroom, by the way.
Of lipstick.
No.
I'm just teasing your dad, Peyton. I'm just teasing him.
Let's see. Where did you guys go? I lost y'all.
We see you.
We can see
We
you.
can see you.
We're looking at Penny's scooter right now.
Yeah, I sold some freeze-dried Skittles at the Cowtown Hamfest, and she liked them so much she wanted more.
Here?
So I gave her a gallon bag of them. Yeah, do you hear us, Kelly?
But
Dad, it's mute.
Peyton will figure it out.
No, Dad. You
Peyton's got you.
There we go.
There you go. You hear us now?
We muted you. I'm sorry.
I hear you. Anyway.
All right. You're welcome, Peyton, if you didn't hear it.
So Paul has a couple of freeze dryers, and he's freeze dried ice cream sandwiches, Skittles, Werther's, some sugar-free items.
Right?
Eggs. Peyton knows all the stuff I'm freeze right now. She knows eggs and everything. That's funny. She needs a freeze dry for Christmas.
Yeah, you had 64 eggs you had to freeze dry.
I was talking to her aunt today about that very thing. I was like, it'd be so fun to have one and really cool. But it's like, where on earth would I put it in the RV? But, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, the little one takes some space, but not a lot. Not a lot.
Yeah, we got to make some space.
Yeah. But anyway, so I see you guys are going through GoKit pictures and everything. So I'm not going to be able to stick around too long, but I want to say thank you to everyone who did come out yesterday. The YouTubers who gave us their support. I know we had, I think 4 or 5 guys out there doing different videos of the events. And that's really cool to see, because the whole idea is to get this learning opportunity out to as many people as possible. Mm-hmm. And so I'm really grateful to everyone who came out, whether you had a kit to enter or you just got to get ideas and socialize with others. Either way, it was great. And we're really glad a lot of people came out and had a good time.
Yeah.
Well,
thanks
Kelly,
for joining, Kelly. I was hoping you'd come on even for a short time, however long you can.
So Kelly, we thought your kit was one of the coolest ones.
Thank you. He deserved it.
Did you notice it was the centerpiece in my thumbnail, Kelly?
I did.
Did you notice that it was my thumbnail for both of my videos?
I knew that, and that's cool. I appreciate it. And the funny thing about that is it's really, yes, the kit is functional, but it's more of a novelty kit just because of the case that it's in. It's got that nautical theme from the Titanic era when steamships were the big new thing. And I found that the box was at a thrift store, so I had to do some cleanup and restoration on it a little bit. And then I took some cedar planks from a fence board and I fashioned those and put them in there to make a frame to hold the radio. There's some more things that I'd like to do with it. I procrastinated to the bitter end. So it was not as nice as what I had intended, but I thought it really did turn out well, and it's going to be a really neat looking kit. I'm going to stick with that nautical theme as I go in and redo that and do some other stuff.
Well, Kelly, you inspired me, and we had lunch afterwards, and I told everyone we need to have a steampunk category. Somebody can make a GoKit, but not just the fancy modern look, but something that looks classic.
I think that would be really cool. Look at this, man. Y'all are getting some gifts going on.
Oh, look at that. Thank you, Don.
Don, you're awesome. Thanks, Don. Round of applause.
So far I've seen, how do you read this?
Stop.
So Misha DeBear, Mike Smith, G0RFD was gifted a membership. KE0TSF, Mike K2MAK, Comps Check with KC6RDF, Henry Mitchell N5SEB, KB5UTY Dave, the Trucking Ham was gifted a membership. Douglas V was gifted a membership. We get a lot of subscribers.
Yeah, Streamlabs is going to go through each one of them. I can't imagine if someone did like 100 subs, it would just go for all 100.
Okay,
10-second.
Somebody put 100 in line. Coolio was also gifted a membership.
Oh, I missed Coolio. I didn't know he was in here.
Yeah, Coolio's in here.
All right, hey Coolio. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Don. Man, you're awesome. I have to update my. I'm gonna have to update my credits ticker. I think you're giving. You might be ahead now of the Grouch. You guys were pretty close to each other.
What's the ticker look like now, Paul?
The ticker? Well, let's go to the credits.
No, not that. Not that.
Ticker's at the top of gifted subs.
Okay.
Grouch is in the lead with 25. I think Don has 25, which now puts him at 15, so it puts him at 25. Thanks, guys, for the support. It's awesome. Chris Radio Life is still our stream boss with 250 hit points. All right. That made my video choppy a little bit.
The last time I was here, Jordan was.
Jordan got booted, man.
I was going to say, is Jordan slacking?
No, Jordan was, and then he got knocked out by WTF Radio, and then got knocked out by the current person now. So,
thank you, Colin.
Awesome, Colin. That's awesome.
I hate that it resets my chat when I do that. Okay, sorry, Don. You distracted me in a very good way. I appreciate it, brother.
That's awesome.
Let's get back to this. So this one was Scott's, right?
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that.
I've had it for 4 or 5 years now. 4.
Yeah.
Like 4 years.
You may want to change it. I could see it. You changed the 400 out for a 500.
Only because I've got 2 500s, one in each vehicle, and I was down to a 400 in the box. So I need to have the same radio that's in the vehicles in the box. And we went ahead and made the change, put the 500 in it. And of course, they came out with a 510 weeks later. That's okay. We'll stay with our 500 for a while.
I like my 500. I'm pretty happy with it.
So do I.
What are those cases called again?
This is an SKB half depth.
From the company of.
This one's or 6U by SKB.
Yeah, this is the kind I'll get with my 7300 when I get around to it.
Yeah, I've got 2 4Us sitting here that I bought one at Cowtown, and then bought another one just before that. Same guy. He keeps coming up with SKB cases, and I keep buying them because they're the right price. And you saw where he was. Was right next to my table, and that's kind of hard not to go home with that case when it's right there.
Yeah, Douglas, we're going to get to some of those. Oh my gosh, Jordan, you did not just do that.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
Holy cow, Jordan.
Oh, dude.
Jordan, why?
That's awesome,
Why?
man. Go,
Why, Jordan? Why?
Oh,
dude.
So we got Tektronix.
We'll start counting it down.
Phil Lester, Dean. Dang, Jordan from Don. Ham Radio Wilderness.
Good grief, man.
Jason, Mike TX, Mike Nelson. Tim Harper, Jeff Winglet.
47 to go.
Kelly, another Kelly. Frequency Frontiers, Roger McKenna. David Guthrie, Mr. Mud, Ham Radio. Dave Newmeyer, Brian, 45 Auto is on there. Lucas Webster. Brian Miller, Chris Robertson, Reed, Sean.
Team Green.
Alabama Andrew, Paul Griffin, Brian, Norman James, Velrock Art Miniatures, James.
Oh, Velrock. Hey, bud. My son.
Chuck Lucas, Nate, and the Sticks. Oh my gosh. Marshall Holmes, Deep Stage Coatings, Jimmy Baker, Mark Turner, KQ4 WTT, Ham Radio Elmer.
Oh yeah, it's gonna go over it, and I don't know how it chooses the remaining. I don't know.
Hey, we need to tell some more people to climb in here and grab the rest of them.
Dave Dolan.
I think it might go back to a previous stream or old members. Because I've had that happen to me too. I get a membership to a channel I've been a member of before, and I wasn't even on the stream.
John Walker, John Malarkey, Radio Man, comms check with KC6 RDF.
Welcome, Andy.
Wow, that's a lot.
Poor Kelly, he's buried there underneath Jordan's picture.
Oh, yeah.
I think, did Jordan take the lead?
Oh, Jordan definitely took the lead. Besides already being a Razorback.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
And having awesome brisket tacos, by the way.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, that was amazing.
There were only like 6 of those left at the very end. I won't say.
Frank, welcome.
I think Michael put 2 of them over with somebody.
Maybe 3.
You took 3? I put another.
No, I ingested 3, and you try to give me more.
I put some over next to Sean because Sean had 2, and I said, "Oh no, you can't go home with just 2." So I put 2 more over there, so he had to take 4 home with him.
I donated an additional to Sean's when you brought those over to me. So
I was socializing so much I only ate 1. I could have eaten 6 of those things.
Oh, those were phenomenal.
All right, Scott, explain this one real quick before we move on to the radios.
Open Stub J-Pole. And Kathy. Yay, volunteers.
Yeah, shout out. Yeah, Open Stub J-Pole. Check out his Hamstop. These are pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't have those on the website.
Oh, is it not on the? Oh, okay.
No, I guess I don't even have that Quad S on the website. I'm just doing that stuff right now. At I'll probably put the Quad S sometime this next week. But so far, just the Open Stubs are at the Ham Fest that I'm going to.
Okay.
At some point, I hope to maybe ramp them up a little more, but they take a while to build. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're probably only at halfway through.
That's 60 gifts tonight. Oh, I love it. I love it.
David,
My
welcome.
car smells like bread.
So WTF Radio Sean, he's got a mobile entry too. We're going to look at in a minute. Anyway, so let's move on to the radios. Oh, we do have it. See, look.
Oh, a brief snippet of it, but he wasn't there but when Kelly lays it out is in the main episode.
I will tell you about it now if you'd like.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Lovely.
So
we didn't think we had it on this video. We thought it was on the other video.
So the box is, you can see that it's more of a Titanic era theme. And I picked it up, believe it or not, at a thrift store here in Louisville. And as soon as I saw it, that was my first thought was, this needs to be a radio box. This looks like it would be really cool. And so I found a battery that would fit in it, and that worked out well. I took some cedar fence planks, and I cut them down to size. So it's 16 inches wide. It is 11 inches deep. And anyway, and probably about 6 inches tall for that bottom section. So all the wires are tucked in underneath the wood, and it's just an old D710 that's being used as the radio there. So we'll go in and redo some things. I want to put, I think it would be cool to have cedar on the top and move the control head to the top of the box. Take the radio body itself and place it underneath the boards, and then put some old amp meters and voltmeters on the embedded in the board to give it that antique look, and you'd be able to see the meters bounce back and forth and such. So I think that would be kind of cool.
And yeah, you got some space up there in the top half, so
right.
Pretty cool. Just like the old VU meters and stuff.
Yeah.
Like amp meter. Oh,
well, Hollywood made a comment earlier, and I mentioned, wouldn't it be cool if you had an open, like visible tube radio in this box?
That would be cool.
Oh.
And I don't know the options, what would fit or whatever. That was the first thought, was an open tube, visible tube radio would be really cool in this.
That would make it really cool looking. So yeah,
Wes,
I don't know.
Mr. Mudd, welcome, brother.
Make that work. But...
You'd have to quit judging, Kelly, so you can hear.
I would.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think it's cool, man. It was just such an awesome, creative idea.
I don't know, Ed, of all the setups, and there were some really, really cool setups there, but that one touched a heartstring for me. So
I think it's just its unique look, because its capabilities are certainly nothing to get excited over. It's just a simple dual band radio. You could put a computer with it and use it for WinLink or some of the other digital modes in the VHF and UHF spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
But really, the way it's set up, it's just a very basic and simple setup. There were much, much, much better systems that were there.
Yep.
Isn't this the same radio that we borrowed for Digitally Speaking in the Park that was in the large scale ammo can that Scott did? Do you remember, Kelly?
Oh, what about it?
Isn't this the same radio that we borrowed for the Digitally Speaking in the Park in the wide scale ammo can?
Yeah, it's the same model. I think his is a 710G. Mine's the old 710A.
It'll fit in an ammo can, but I like how this is laid out big enough there, and then you've got the battery off to the side, and it's just the practical uses of space. You can go into a smaller GoKit with that, but I like how this is laid out. I really do.
Yeah, steampunk. Here's the thing, Kelly. I thought when you were talking just a second ago, with that extra gap above, you could very simply put a digi-rig in there and some kind of a tablet or Raspberry Pi small 7-inch screen and have all modes, VHF, UHF. Be incredible.
Right. Yeah. That would be very possible, yes.
So there's a lot you can do with this. I think it's cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that box is just a really good size for a radio kit. It's just, and the way that one's set up, it's not very heavy. In fact, Peyton took it out of the car today to show it to her grandparents when we went out to dinner, because she thought it looked really cool. So it's not very heavy. It's a nice little
Richard says that a tube. See, I've only seen HF tube radios, and I know they're too large to fit in here, but I was wondering if there's some type of smaller size or maybe a modernized tube radio that's maybe scaled down with modern technology. I just think it'd be cool.
Paul, you got something that was pretty cool. Do you care to show that tube set that you just got?
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. So
let me see if I can.
Let me blow up Paul's picture here.
So I think is it Nixel, those little tube clocks?
Nixie,
thank you. So I really like those, and then I got an AliExpress, and I ended up liking this better because you can put whatever pictures you want on it.
But that's got the matrix stuff flowing down.
So this is the matrix clock, and it has an app. These are little miniature screens. You can put photos. They've got a ton of different themed clocks and weather things. So this is on my desk now. It just looks so cool from AliExpress.
That would be cool to interface that and tell what frequency you're on.
That would be cool.
That would be cool.
Oh.
It's USB-C, and I'm sure you smart guys could probably figure out a way.
Ooh.
Anyway, one of my useless gadgets.
Yeah, but that'd be kind of cool to put in a radio like that. It finally stopped, Paul.
Oh, did it? There you go, guys.
I guess a lot more.
Thanks again, Jordan, and thanks Don as well for all those memberships. That was amazing. All right, let's move on. There's Michael. Here is. See if I can get to it right there. Kelly was manning the station for Scott's GoKit.
Scott Croft.
Yeah, Scott Croft, the other Scott. He had this in the back of a Jeep, and we'll show the antenna on top in a second. So other than the ICOM, I didn't know if there's anything else to talk about this one, Kelly. Maybe if you want to.
So he's got the ICOM 7100 there, and it's a nice clean setup. He's got his antenna posts labeled so that you can tell which is which. One of them has a very unique label to indicate it's the HF, and the other one has a standard that just says VHF, UHF. So also, in addition to having this one set up, he's got, you can see the ammo can just behind my arm there. That's another, that's just a dual band. That's that Kenwood 710G that he's got in that ammo can. And just a very well put together program. I like the fold down table, the idea of having a seat to operate from. I won't say it was the most comfortable seat, and especially if you're a vertically challenged person like myself. But to have a seat there to be able to do your operation is really, really handy. Really makes a difference. And, you know, even if, let's say you needed a writing surface, you could take the radio itself and set it over on the back of the Jeep on the inside. And then you've got that desk laid out that you could use as your writing surface if you needed to do that. So I just thought that was a very well laid out. And yeah, we'll talk about the antenna here in a minute. He's got a couple of different antennas. And of course, he has an operating station up in the driver's seat as well. So very well put together Jeep. I really like that.
Yeah, and that's a Marine seat. And the only suggestion I had was, you know, when you and it's all the desk itself is plugged into the tailgate of the Jeep Wrangler. That seat is actually just slotted in to his hitch mount. And maybe if he had a little crank up thing for fat boys like me to sit down on it, it doesn't lean as much over. That would put a base underneath it. That was my only suggestion for him. But Scott, every time he's one of those that every time he enters something when it comes to stuff like this, he's going to win something. So he's just a very
LED lights back in the back too. Little LED strip here.
Well, he also has LED lights on the lid of the device too, and you'll see that on the regular episode. So I did 2 videos, and they're a bit different from each other. And there's that antenna.
So that's on top of the Jeep, mounted to maybe a roof rack. I can't remember.
This is Delta Loop.
Yeah,
that's the Chameleon PDL. The tactical Delta Loop. I have this. I've used it. There's other brands, and you could make one yourself with 2 whips and a string of wire. Got to match the bottom of this, so you'd have to create some kind of balun, I would imagine. But pretty good antenna.
We used that.
What's that?
We used that at a POTA deployment that Scott was up at Lake Eisenhower, and several of us went up there and visited with him while he was there. He had a cabin.
Yeah.
He took that the loop and attached it to a picnic table and worked right off the picnic table.
Yeah, it's cool. I got that clamp mount as well.
Works so cool.
So that's Scott's. And he had this little folded out awning you can get for, practically any vehicle. These little fold out awnings to stay in the shade or stay out of the rain, maybe.
Yeah, they call those a Batwing awning, and the Winnebago Echo is one of the first products that had it, and it stores completely on the side, and the loops all the way around, and about I'd say half your vehicle is under shade around it, so you could have a picnic and have people on two sides of the vehicle there completely in the shade. Very nice setup.
So I did get in the video a little bit. That's me in the background. My truck, and there's my tripod with an ATAS on it, and I was running a net that morning. I couldn't find anybody else to do it. And,
I think you
so
were running the live
there.
stream a couple times there.
Okay, yeah, I ran a 40-meter net from my truck on my 891 with a tripod-mounted ATAS, so it worked out pretty good. But let's move to Sean's. Let's see here.
There's an ATAS sighting on top of his car.
Yeah, there's Sean, and Sean's in the chat tonight. Let me show an outside view here. So if you want to go over this, and Sean, if we miss anything, throw it in the chat. Michael or Scott, if you guys want to talk antennas, and then we'll move into the radio.
That was Sean's ATAS that he bought at this event. He heard that it was for sale, and same with the mount. He bought those off Coleman at the event, and then hooked it all up, put it all on the car, and then got to talk about the ATAS and his 891 in his vehicle, and it was cool.
Yeah, he's got a tri-magnet mount. Is that a dual band there?
It's a dual bander, yes.
Okay.
And,
like
and then
NMO?
Yes, on an NMO, and he's actually got 3 different radios in there. He's got a VHF, UHF. He had the 891. And he also had a CB radio in there. He didn't have a CB antenna connected at the time, but he's got multiple ways of getting out and communicating if he needs to in a situation. So
that's a good solid mount.
I love it. I loved his setup. I really loved his setup. And this is a car that Colin asked, "What the hell kind of car is that? And why is the steering wheel on the wrong side?"
Oh yeah,
Colin's is in Australia, so.
Well, let's go in and check out the setup.
I just want to hear that Sean's got 100 miles an hour with his ATAS, like Mike did.
You'll notice Mike's whip.
He's got one for DMR too. Very sweet, Sean.
If you didn't notice Mike's whip, you can tell he drives with it. The whip is bent back. All right. Go ahead and let us know here on this one. Either one of you, Mike or Michael.
Well, that bottom radio right there is the 891. I'm sorry, I'm getting my model numbers mixed up in my head. And that mic that's hanging there, I believe, is a CB mic.
This one? No.
No. The one laying on top of where the keyboard would be. Here. CB. Right. And then he has a I want to call it an iPad, but a tablet.
A tablet.
Got a tablet there, yeah. So.
And then what's this right here?
Where?
What's this?
What is
These
that,
buttons.
Sean?
Sean, what was this? Was that part of the radio or not? Looks like a switch of something here. And is this some kind of antenna switch?
The little one is little one's for DMR.
And the headset hanging here.
Oh,
he's got a Samsung tablet.
The
rear lights.
For work, he has emergency lights for work. So
yeah. All right. Anything we're missing on this? I thought there was one more thing. Look a little bit here. Oh, power. Little battery power source there. Is that a Jackery?
He was running the 891 on that Jackery. And it's FT7800. Okay.
On top of, let's go back up.
I love how all the gear's in there because he just did that install in the parking lot, in the mobile section.
Really?
Yeah.
But you know what? It's functional. That's the best part of it. It's all functional.
Oh, you did go over to my radio. I don't see the 7800. It's on top. I guess I'm not seeing it.
That could be the mic for the 7800 right there.
Oh, mic is what he meant. Oh, okay.
No, I don't know.
That was another.
But
that was another very capable mobile.
Absolutely.
On top of light control.
I'll just show mine real quick. I already talked about it. We don't need to talk more. So maybe right here you can see. I didn't enter mine. I was just set it up for the net. So right here is the normal. The ATAS would just go on here. I just put a jumper on my Alpha HD antenna or tripod, and I don't know if we get a close up of that or not.
But that's the Skyhook that he's got it all connected to.
So the Skyhook right here just bolted right in, fits right in the mount, and then I put of course the connector here I had to put in there and mount it up. It worked. So mine wasn't part of the setup. So let's just move on. It wasn't part of the content.
Now Paul was actually using ham radio.
Yeah, I was running a net. I didn't have time to set it up. There's Scott with his setup.
Actually, Scott showed below. It may not have been on film, but Scott showed below there. And we had a few non-hams there. You brushed right by them, but that was one guy that was in our Skywarn class, and he was wanting to get his ham radio license. So we were talking to him. He's working with hamstudy.org.
Trying to find a closer setup.
I haven't had a chance to even look at the videos yet. This is fun.
So this is the live stream, Scott. He's only doing the live stream tonight, but this is where he actually makes the contact.
All right, can you talk about this and his key as well?
Yeah, the key is
I don't
on
know
the
what
main
he
episode.
had.
If you want to learn about the key, watch the main episode.
Yeah, the key down here. He made it 30 or something years ago. He made this key that's touch sensitive.
Yeah, and he used trophy brass, which is covered with plastic. So there's no connectivity if you touch your hand to it. So he has little half circles cut into it, and he knows how to put his hands just right on there to get it to work. And I couldn't get it to do it. Robert couldn't get it to do it, and DKH Robert, and then Tank Radio comes right up to it, and it works perfectly for him. But he doesn't know Morse code at all.
Well, and Coleman told me too when I was talking to him later on the phone, he had intended on bringing some headphones with him because he wanted to be able to plug his headphones into this. I think it's a West Mountain speaker that was there, and you can hear everything the operator hears, and then they can actually hear what they want to in the headphones. And yeah, he forgot the headphones, so that he was kicking himself with that. But I like his kit. I mean, for me, yeah, it had wheels. It moves a lot of radio and a lot of battery really simply and quickly.
Yeah, it looked like a big old ice chest, one of those portable ones you put on a shoulder and stuff full of beer, but he has radios instead of beer.
Yep.
45, I just changed it. Let me know if it's still clipping. It might be clipping when I'm playing the YouTube video and streaming. That might be taking it out, but let me know how it sounds if it gets bad again. I switched from noise canceling to my D-Gate.
So, Colin, I just want to react to your comment here about your Blue Eddy battery generator. What I've learned, and Paul and I both learned, is they work great, but you need to get an extension cord and get them away from your radio. And then they tend to work pretty decently. But if they're right next to your radios, if you're taking the plug from your radio right into them, they're not so great.
Yeah, if anyone has a good one that they've tested and works well with the radio, just one like those Blue Eddy or Jackery types, I mean, I've had my own battery boxes, and I'm building a couple more, but I need one that doesn't have noise. So let's go to his antenna because let's go to his antenna.
Oh, that mount.
Because you explain it really well. Whoop, passed it.
That
I can't remember if it was on the live or that's him gearing up. And then I'll walk over to the antenna. But I think it might be on the main episode. We talked about the antenna at length. He puts tape all up and down his coax, and his antenna's got reflective tape, and it's got little phrases all the way around them, just little cheeky phrases, which I appreciated. But it's a Wolf River coil with a 15-foot whip on it, and if you see all the reflective tape that he has on that mount on the base there. And he also has green LEDs that light up that he just flips the switch.
Kelly, thanks for joining, Kelly.
Oh, take care, Kelly.
Kelly's got to head out.
Yeah, right. Thanks, guys. Y'all have a great night. We'll see you next time.
Kelly.
They're sending you off with applause.
I hear that.
Bye, Peyton.
Bye, Peyton.
Peyton says bye.
One thing that I can tell on Coleman with the Wolf River coil, earlier in the week, he was playing on 160 with the Wolf River coil, as well as he played on 2 meters with it. So he's doing some things that are a little bit outside of the norm for that antenna.
Interesting.
He's playing with an awful lot of stuff with that thing. I love that mount. That mount is
it's solid.
If you watch his video, or maybe it was the other video, he gets up close, you can see the text on it, but it's a solid, well-built mount with lights on it so people see it. Pretty cool.
And he's got alligator clips that go to the base of that mount, and he's got those chalk lines. Of course, he ripped a string out and replaced it with the wire, and you could just all his connectivity there. Okay,
Teflon wire is what he's using in that, because I gave him his first little bit of that after he and I both spotted Roger Carver's, and I made a couple for the ATAS that I have, and that we usually take to the shows with us. And he asked me if I had some left over after he and I done a bunch of stuff together, and I gave him some, and he went and bought a roll of it afterwards, because it's so thin and so small, but that the Teflon coating on the outside of it makes it really, really nice to roll up, and it's really pretty strong.
So I may want to look, Paul, you and I may want to do that for our part of setups, but just get some chalk lines, string out, and reset it up with something like that. So this one was the gentleman from the McKinney Amateur Radio Club, and he flat said it was the GoKit challenge that inspired him to create his own pack out. When Cliff made this last year, I don't know, Cliff is watching tonight, but he was watching my live stream Saturday, and and he said, "Man, I'm watching this from the couch. That's awesome." You know, he did state that.
Go over what he had here. I'm seeing this battery a lot in people's GoKits. These types of batteries.
So I just want to go the top orange box here first. That's another FTM 300, but it is pretty much set up that all you had to do was open the case, screw the rubber duck antenna on there, and you were on the air. It has its own 20 amp hour battery. Everything is set up there, ultra portable. You can set up a NCS station right there so quickly. The other one is it's called Flex. It's not Flex Radio though, but it's the boxes they got from Lowe's or Home Depot, one of the hardware stores. But they pretty much did what Cliff did. There's batteries and stuff on the bottom there. They got the cables and everything integrated there. That's a Yaesu 710. And they like that because they can actually push that whole thing inwards because of the footprint of the Yaesu. So if they needed to get under some cover, say rain or whatever is coming in, and then there's a pull-out drawer on top of it that collapses down and can cover everything on there. They looked at putting LED lights in there, but they were having trouble with the LED lights, so they're still trying to figure some stuff out. But that
battery
panel
on
there,
the top was an eco-worthy, isn't it?
Probably.
Trying to see another shot of it here, but
yeah, and I don't know. I don't know if that was just a separate battery from it. But the face of that thing is kind of a glossy black, and they said it kind of scratches up. And what I thought was so amazing on the HF one was he's going to replace that front with a matte black, and then he's going to have one with a matte red, and then one with a matte yellow. They're going to have 3 of those kits, and they can say it's the yellow kit, the red kit, and the black kit. So
cool.
They're color coding everything, which is sweet. But I like that orange box, that FTM 300. That was a pretty nice setup, and it's got to where you can put external power into it. And it's got the on-off switch there and some USBs as well. So
I like that he had this part angled, unlike any others.
So the angle there, he said they were just racking their brains trying to figure out what angle they need to put that in, and they found a doorstop at Home Depot. A rubber doorstop was the perfect angle for that. So that's how they came up with the angle for that radio.
I'm color coding all my Apache cases, by the way. Yellow is battery and orange is radio. Okay, so let's move. It's a pretty, some of the basics here, Anderson, flip a switch, USB. But very basic, and it's all you need.
Yeah.
Let's move to.
That's the guy talking there.
All right, let's go to this one. Show a couple angles of this one. Oh, yeah. This is before he put my Ragchew crew sticker on this case.
Did he?
Yeah, the Ragchew crew sticker is right here now.
Okay, that's Dominic, and it took me a while to get to him because there was other veterans there from the Desert Storm, and so they got to talking, and I wasn't going to dare interrupt him, but he had a very cool setup. On the left there, he has a 7100 and a hardened case. Hardened Industries, they have this beautiful, beautiful case. It's got 2 3-watt speakers on there. You could turn them on and off if you wanted to use the headphones. Everything is in that case. The power supply is everything. You just add the radio. They special make them for each radio. The only thing I'm surprised they did not include on that is the tuner. So he has a tuner on top of there. But Harden makes cases even for GMRS radios, the Midland line, the radios. So they're very cool. In fact, you can see on the top right there, there's the plug to charge it. It's got the built-in charger for the 20 or 30 amp hour battery that's in there. But the reason why he went with the 7100 over the 891 was the 891 was like 1.5 amps receiving, and the 897 the 7100 was below an amp while it was receiving or standing by. So
that's good.
So you need to start looking at more energy efficient radios when you're deploying it out and you're running off of a battery setup there. But then again, you got the ability to charge it because the charger's built in there. The only thing I was disappointed was the tuner's not built in. But I mean, they got it from multiple radios, but they're not cheap. They're like $600 to $900 for the case. So that's something. If you got a lot of money, go for it.
Yeah, it's expensive. I looked it up. The one for an 891 with the battery, without the radio, was $850.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's cool, man. It is cool.
I've seen them in person. They're pretty sweet. They're pretty nice.
He made both of his contacts when I went over to Judge. He did both of his contacts voice off that rig. And
what was his?
The antenna is just laying right in behind the table there, propped up on the on the side of the gazebo.
Is this it here?
Yeah. No, it was direct off the back of his table. That's off the back end of the grassy field. His was right off the back end of the.
Yeah, he was right. Is that an
FT
710? Was that an FT 710? His other radio?
Yeah, he was running 710 doing FT8 on it.
Right.
On the other one, he did the voice contacts. And that's something we do with each of the guys that are doing these. You need to have a radio that you can prove that works. It's not just a pretty radio in a box if you're entering the competition. You need to make 2 contacts. And when I came to the table, I asked him, well, which one are you going to do it with? And he goes, well, I can do it either. And I said, which one do you want to do it with? And he reached over and grabbed the voice, and within just a moment or two, he had his 2 contacts voice. It was great.
Mm-hmm. So the FT 710, he was running a 17-foot whip on a surveyor's tripod, and the other one he had a 40-foot pole that he was running, and it had a wire hanging from that.
Yeah.
So I think that was a 40-foot extendable pole. So I was like, 40, wow.
All right. Yeah, it's a pretty cool setup. Let's see. I think you go out to you go out to the field here. His is going to be hard. This one's going to be hard because he's standing. I guess it's going to be one. Just showing this one mostly because he has 2, right? There's one behind him.
Yeah. He had a 991 or an 891 with the armor lock case on it. And then the other radio, I forgot what it was, but it also had an armor lock case on it as well.
He couldn't get his 891 to work properly. When he came over, he was having some problems with the 891, so he ultimately entered in the 50 and over category.
But
a shout out to Canvas zipper bags. This is what I use. This is everything I have is organized in this, from coax jumpers to digital connectors to zip ties. This is a great thing for GoKits, Go bags, and you can just put a marker on them and label them. So this is the one that didn't work. Does he show the other one?
Yes, he does.
The other one's in the pack, just over behind him, off to the left.
Yeah. This one, this particular video clip is in both videos. This is the only one that's in both videos.
Yeah, and that's
Gigaparts Explorer mast. Yeah, these little masts are great. Gigaparts. Does he show us? Let's see if he showed the antenna. It's off behind him, the antenna.
But did you see when he pulled it out, the battery case was underneath that, locked into the armor lock.
Yeah, so those armor locks, you can have these battery cases attached to the base. So when it goes in your pack, it's all connected. And let's see if we get over to the antenna. I don't think you didn't already show it, right? Like he's got the pole in this one too. So 2 looks like fully operational VHF, UHF, and HF, right?
So he had a chameleon sloper for the HF, and he had a J-pole ladder line antenna for his VHF, UHF.
So if you're new for Ray, especially Ed Fong is a really good antenna, especially for MCOM. They roll up. I've got his tri-bander inside a PVC tube in my attic for 220, 440, and 144 megahertz. And then he has and then pretty much every frequency there you could get individually, dual band, and they roll up. They're just the small ladder line. What's that called? The small ladder line. Here we go. So behind him, there's Walter. Behind him up here, you can see the chameleon infed, right? Up here.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And then here's the Ed Fong, so you can barely see it.
That's right there.
It's just a roll up little ladder line. So real good for portable. There's Walter. Shout out Walter. He was with me at Tokyo Ham Fair last August. All right, let's walk back.
if you're asking for a link for the videos, they're both on my channel. It's Getting Out in Life. So just go to youtube.com/Getting Out in Life. There's D.
Can you tell me what D is he still here? Can you tell me what he was doing here? Because when he was out in the field, I didn't get out and talk to him.
I briefly spoke with him. I think he was trying to do digital. D, are you still with us? I had to watch the video again. Oh, the link for the antenna. Ed Fong. I said J Fong is Ed Fong, Fong. I think he was the one that invented the J pole, wasn't he?
I'm not sure.
No, he invented the roll-up J pole.
D says, yeah, he was doing digital. Okay. Here's a link to Michael's channel and that stream, this live stream video. And
there's another video I released today, and it's just a different angle and different things that I showed during the video. So the only clip that I had for both videos was the one that you just saw previously. That's Kelly. That you're over.
Let's just mention her real quick and explain. And I'm just having him do this. This is an example of how you can be an ambassador for ham radio. Go ahead and explain.
So Kelly's stepdad, and I interviewed her twice. I interviewed everybody twice except for that the one where I shared it in both. And her stepdad, they had a quiet time together, and he would fiddle around with his amateur radio, but she would hang out with him in the same room reading a book. And he passed away. And she thought the best way to honor him was to get her own ham license. And, I talked to her about getting the studying to the test and everything. And I told her how important it is to get involved in ham clubs and why it was important and to get in ham activities. And I said, and here's an excellent example. Everybody in this group, they're all in ham clubs, and they learn from each other. And this is just an exercise for us to learn from each other. She's like, you're not kidding. I learned so much from this. This is amazing. I didn't know you can do so much here. So that was her story. And so her and her entire family are going to get their tech licenses to honor her stepfather.
Here's Ed Fong. I have 4 of his antennas, roll-ups for my packs, and the tri-bander in my attic. And they're very, very, very reasonable. It supports he's a professor, supports or did support his students and class and programs that he did. So it's good. But yeah, great opportunity to be an ambassador. These, events that you do with your club and stuff, get them out there, get them advertised on social media and get people out. You never know who might be thinking about something, and then show up and join our community.
Didn't you buy a tri-band of Ed Fong's also at one point, Paul?
Yeah, the tri-band is in that. It's my only not roll up. It's in the fiberglass tube. Yeah. Or PVC. Yeah, PVC tube. Sorry.
That's only because it's got the coils at the base.
It's got the coil in it, and so it does 220. So I could use a switch and use my 220 TYT or my dual band, and so. All right, Scott, we're getting close to the end here.
Scott, you want to take this one, or you want me to take it?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Let me get a little closer.
So this one, he didn't want his face in the camera much, but I did get his face at the end during the words on the regular video. But this is I believe he had an 891 in the front there. But this case was so well built. It was amazing. He uses resonant antennas as much as he can. So towards the back on the right there, that's where the cable comes out for his antenna. Then he has another cable that goes out for his solar cell to keep everything charged up. It's got either a 20 or 30 amp hour battery in there. Everything fits in there. He's got ventilation fans, everything. He can run 1 or 2 fans as much as he needs, depending on what he's doing. But right above the radio that's there towards the front is a macro set of buttons. It's a remote. And, he can call CQ POTA, this is KF5LDJ, and then he'll say QRZ at the end of it, just depending on what button. So he lets his voice rest there. Now, right towards the right there, you can see the coax where it goes out, or the PL 239 there. But right below it is a match. So he's got a match there that he can, if it's not completely resonant, he likes to use completely resonant antennas, then he has that match there. And underneath there is where he stores his headphones and everything else. Now, Paul, can you find a place where you can find what's right in front of his case there?
Yeah, I think you do it right here.
Okay, there it is. So you see it says second op box, and it's got
right here under his arm.
Yeah, it's got 2 hand mics in there. And I have never seen anything like this or even heard of anything like this. But it's got 2 microphones, so 2 people can run POTA from the same radio. So when he keys down that left mic there, it disables the right mic. And when he keys down the right mic, it disables the left mic. So 2 operators can sit there and go back to back and contact the same station.
I told him he needs to make them and sell them. Those would sell.
So, but they can't both key down at the same time. One's going to lock the other person out. So I thought it was pretty brilliant. I've never seen anything like that, but that's something he engineered himself. It's not a commercially available thing, but I was like, that's different.
And you can see how it plugs in. Look at the cable at the back of it where it says radio on the box. Goes into an outlet that inside plugs into the radio. So he's created a port there, so you're not running a cable through the wood. It's just all so well done, and he did win, right?
Yeah, that's just the first one.
Yeah, his first Go box, and he won.
But go look at his antenna. I went a little deeper on his antenna on this. The second time I didn't go. I try to avoid doing a face plant with all the rugs. See there, he's throwing his match out so he can show.
This is where he puts the headphones.
Yeah, that's where he stores his headphones.
Right in there. So well done. I wish I had the skills to build this kind of, 3D printed stuff, but he knows the wiring and electrical and gets all that and can do it. It's awesome.
Yeah, and I think his iPod is stored in there too. So everything's just all nice and neat and tidy.
When I saw those buttons, the first thing I asked him was, how many Nintendo 64 games does it play?
But when you look at his antenna setup, he's got 4 sets of radios with a total of 20 radios. So there's his solar panel. And let me see if I can get to it. And then he had a bypass filter on it too because of all the RF noise.
You can see, kind of barely see the radials. Here's one. Here's another one. Comes over here. Or no, that's the coax. It's right here. See, I got lost. And then here's the whip.
Get closer into the antenna there, and you'll see it.
Do you get closer?
Yes,
gotta get closer on the video.
Oh, okay. I got really close on the live stream.
I want to tune up that rain gutter on the right.
Yeah, those are so cool. But I point the camera right at the base there. On the regular episode, I don't get this close to it, but I just didn't want to step on a radial the second time around. Yeah. I didn't realize how thick the radials were. If you could find it,
looks like that's the last one for the stream.
Okay, but you can see it. There's 4 of them, and then there's 5 radials that come out each connection, and all orange wire. I mean, he's got a nice complex system, but he may be one of those guys like Bitwit Radio that when we went to talk to him, he had 358 photos. So he may be.
Did we cover them all?
Yeah,
I think so. We got Penny. Yeah, I think we did.
I think last year, lightning storm scared a few away.
Yeah.
Either that or it was.
But we had a bunch out in the field last year.
Yeah, well, there was.
We had wind.
There was 35 of them last year. We had 90 people in attendance last year.
But we also had a forecast of winds today.
This year's attendance definitely down. But yeah, we did have an awful lot of dust. We did have a lot of wind in the area. So, understandable. There were some concerns after the night before's windstorms.
Yeah, I woke up with a layer of brown dust, dirt on my truck.
I turned on my windshield wiper and it looked like somebody put potting soil on the side of my truck when it flew.
Made me think of that movie Interstellar, with the dust blowing everywhere, and they had to all wear masks to live.
And the big thing that Kelly and I both talked about too is, even if we inspired just even one person to go out and build themselves a Go box, or to learn more about a Go box, it's a success. Because that's really what we started this for. And it's not so much for your seasoned or your senior operators, as much as getting out and letting a senior operator or a seasoned operator show this is what can be done. And you can start with any radio that you have and move it to a mobile situation where you're able to take it and go somewhere with it, and potentially leave your car or leave your house with it. And, give you the basic idea of this is the direction you want to be moving with your radio. Because most of us, when we sit and work at a desk, everything's optimal. We have our optimal microphones. We have our optimal radio. With me, I've got my flex all set up here the way I want it. But when you get out and have to go somewhere, it's not going to be optimal. It's going to be chaos. James. And yeah, this is our chaos in between the two field day chaoses.
The thought I had, for those who maybe don't know my Jeep, because I wasn't really streaming or doing anything when I had it. What I actually thought was to have the box with my GoKit, and then have it, the PCs or the laptops, I think it was HP and Dell and everybody, where it would have the station on your desk, but then you'd pull the laptop on, you just pull it off the base mount, and then you'd go travel around with the laptop, come back to your desk, slide it in the dock. I would love to make that in my Jeep, where I have a box with all the radios. It slides in and connects to the connectors. I'd probably have to do manual connecting, and then it's mobile. That would be amazing.
Boba rules.
Yeah. Ray, I texted it, but I just want to say it for voice in case, that sometimes it takes a while for the live chat to pop up in posted videos. But, he's saying his box, they're so much more advanced, but you got to remember, it's fun to build them. That's the fun side of it.
Yep.
Right. But an effective Go box is what it's all about when it comes down to use. Using it, advanced Go boxes, I mean, there could be a benefit, but that's not the point. You need a usable. The more advanced you get, I think you also have a more likely of various failures, right?
Right.
Just like me streaming, the more I've added to this setup here that I've got from when I just did a webcam, the more complex and issues tend to pop up. Like 45, I think was saying, or Don, that 45, I think was saying my audio was clipping. So don't think of complex, think of usability, think of, perhaps capability, like digital modes or this and that. But yeah, don't look at others to get ideas, but don't think that you have to make something so complicated to be an efficient Go box.
There are things too that, you can plan out everything you're going to do and your GoKit's capable of, or how it's going to work and how it's going to perform. And the minute you get out there, something can throw you sideways. And in my case, I had the 991 all set up in mine. It was all rigged. It was all ready. I had an EcoFlow battery to go with it, all set up. We're ready to show it off. It wasn't this year. It was 2 years ago when it was so cold. And my wife borrowed the battery to do what? Run a heater under the table for the ladies that were sitting there taking tickets until it got warm. Well, she didn't think about how much time she could run that heater and how much time the radio would need. And when I went to go use the radio and show the radio, there was no power. So I mean,
I remember that.
playing and doing those things with your gear and doing these things with your gear helps you understand what you're going to face later down the road. And I now know, take 2 batteries and hide one.
That's funny.
Yeah, I mean,
redundancy is always the case. Redundancy is always the case.
Correct. And you know, like I said, it's get your gear out, take your gear out. And that's one of the reasons we did start this is at the time when we started GoKit Challenge, Dakar was not doing Winter Field Day. They are now, but Winter Field Day was not something that Dakar themselves were doing. You had Lark that was doing it, and Laura was doing it, the 2 other Denton County clubs. But we needed a way to get out and exercise your gear before storm season. And that was kind of the thought behind this was, let's get it out here. Let's use it before we may need it in a few weeks. And that was also kind of the placement in the time when we placed the event was before that it might be needed in storm season, we could get out there and do it.
Cliff. We missed you.
And we really missed you, man.
Big time.
Like you inspired people last year and this week and this year's bottles. So
yeah, the goal tonight, Cliff, was to stream until you logged on.
There you go.
Cliff, check out Michael getting out in life's videos. I think you inspired at least 2 people.
Yeah, well, he was on my live stream. I don't know if you saw my new one, but yeah. When we do a full deployment, I tell people bring their GoKits, bring their Go boxes, because you know we may have the nice comms trailer or the Georgetown and even some of the county vehicles like Goliath and our future David that we're going to get, and they're all subject to one thing that everything is subject to: failure. They could all fail, and that's why redundancy is key. So if you're an Aries member and you're being deployed out here, bring your gear, whether it's going to be needed or not. It's great to have it in your vehicle just on standby if it needs to happen. You never know what the need is. So
I just want to mention Ray's comment there at 10:11. He was talking about the 50-watt minimum radio. Ray, you're hitting 40 miles away with 5 watts at a Yagi. You don't need 50 watts. Look at the standard VHF, UHF radios that are 20 to 40, 50 watts. Look at just the standard radios. And I just got a Yagi myself to try to do better at simplex nets. And work within your budget, like we talked earlier, and find what works for you. If you have a club, see what other people are using, see what works for you, see what fits in your budget, and you'll build it over time. I have a video, I think I posted a video, I don't know, 7-8 months ago of my ham shack from start to finish. Cliff, good to see you, brother. Have a good night. A video maybe 5, 6, 7 months ago, just showing the evolution of my ham shack. And it started with a Baofeng HT and a little amplifier, VHF, UHF amplifier. And then my first HF was a Dakar member who sold it to me for $400. It was a Yaesu 450 on 2 little IKEA, what do they call those the ones you make, the little shelves. You'll build it. Don't worry about it. Build what you can now and, increase your capabilities. Yeah, you will. You'll rebuild it. I'm rebuilding my Jeep. I'm going to rebuild the case.
Your vehicle will change. I've still got the original TYT that I first bought from Jason. That was my first that was my first HT. My first radio was a 991.
Great radio.
Yeah, my wife bought that for me, and
great wife.
I got an FT450 sitting over there by my work desk.
Shout out to
Dead as a doornail. Dead as a doornail. The power supply from it is running my garage radio. So,
Ray, if you don't mind, or maybe if you don't mind, if not the city, what state are you in? If you don't mind me asking. If you don't want to answer, it's not a big deal.
Or what part of the world if you're not in America?
We're part of the world. And second question, because I don't remember if you answered earlier, are you in a club?
That's key.
Paul, the Grouch from New Hampshire, he's got his channel. He and Ziggy, I think it was Ziggy as well, mentioned at different times when we've crossed streamed things, when we've crossed the streams. He mentioned someone was talking about clubs. I think Michael and I think we were talking about clubs and local clubs and stuff, which is very important. But especially for those of us who stream, and you see some of the regulars on here right here, Douglas, Sean is now getting into it. We've got Cliff coming in now and again, 45, Don, D, a couple Chris's in here, and mine's a smaller channel compared to these other Colin. This, and that's what I like about this community. This is kind of become a club, this YouTube club of those of us who watch all the streams, and we know each other through this online club, and I think it's great. So get in with the channels as well. You know, the Tank Radios and the Ham Radio Crash Courses, Ham Radio Tube, and you're going to learn a lot as well on the stream. So catch all the streams you can in the videos.
One of the first places I ever met you guys was a net on Sunday afternoons, was Digitally Speaking, and you know, we belonged to 3 clubs together. We listened to Lee every Sunday and got to know one another there. It's moved into video as well as we still Digitally Speaking. Paul and I chatted this afternoon on it.
This is my ham. This is my ham club. All these guys, right? I don't have a Ziggy sticker. I don't think he has stickers yet, but
that's the cool part about this is, you know, we're all separated by other places throughout the globe, but we're all tied in and connected together because of one thing.
Yeah.
Microphone.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Twinsies.
Same story.
Twinsies.
Wait a minute.
Well, you guys, I could keep going, but I do have a wife who wants to still know that I exist. And
mine
yours brought you a drink during the live stream and went to bed.
Yeah, she's awesome. Heidi's awesome. And I've determined that when I pass, I'm sending my wife to Heidi, Scott's wife, because she's the only one I think I can trust to get rid of all my gear for my wife and not end up having it on her own desk.
I thought we discussed this, Paul.
Yeah, we did.
Coming over, I'm opening my tailgate. It's all going in there.
I was going to say, Michael's going to get part, and I'm going to get the other part, because that's all Heidi and your wife are going to handle that.
I'm going to back the truck up, open the tailgate, and we'll be done.
Yep.
Ray, I don't know your area, and you don't have to say it, but because it depends on your area. In our area here, where Michael, Scott, and I'm 15 minutes. Actually, if you go to 20 minutes, I'm 20 minutes from probably seven clubs.
Yeah.
And some of them there's clubs with a little bit older group. They do some different things. Another group that does more social things, another group that does a little more contesting, and another group that does more county, more. So if you have other clubs, look at other clubs. You might have to go another 5-10 minutes, but check them out. Just look around and see what you find. And
just to kind of give an example. So Denton County has 4 or 5 clubs that I am aware of. So Lark, all 3 of us are members of Lark. That's Lake Area Amateur Radio Club. They meet in the colony. They're the fun club. They do the contesting. They do the going out camping and doing radios and stuff like that. They do some public service stuff. And by the way, clubs support each other in our county. That's a very rare thing to see. You go over to Laura, the Louisville Amateur Radio Association, which I was a member at one time, and they are really big into promoting amateur radio within the scouting programs. They're also very technically minded.
They do hands-on stuff too.
Yeah. So I'm not a technically minded person. I'm a practical application person, but that is a great club too, and they support the different programs throughout Denton County. We had DECARA, which is the Denton County Amateur Radio Association. They're more of the public service club. So a lot of times when all these bike rides and events happen, the county relies on DECARA for a lot of things, and it's a mutually beneficial relationship that extends out to the other clubs. That's what they do great. You got the Carrollton Club, the Metro Crest Amateur Radio Association, or Metro Radio Service, I guess, and they're about having play dates. They'll get together and build antennas and do stuff like that. That's what they really get into. So each club has its different flavors. So if you have time, join more than one club. If you're out in the middle of boonies, I understand that that your limits are small, but don't be afraid to get the next generation in too. And that's something that I think we're doing a little bit better of a job, but we still have a ways to go as far as amateur radio clubs within our county. So
I'm getting a new invite link. It's in the description. Before we close shop here tonight, let me get a link. It actually works now. Now the Ragchew Crew Discord isn't as active as others, like Ham Radio 2.0, Coffee and Ham Radios, Toads. But why did it do that one again? There's Ed's antenna link for some reason.
Because it wants you to sell a few of those for it.
It's not doing it again. Yeah, I'm having an issue. I have no problem promoting Ed's antennas. They're great antennas. Just not going to do it. Anyway, check the description, join the Discord, and if you need to, I can get you into the other Discords, Toads, and all that. If you aren't already watching their videos, some great guys making a lot of videos every week that help you out with all sorts of things. So we're going to, with that, let's close it down, guys. Thanks again, Scott, for joining and sticking it out with us.
Problem. I saw the text and said, I'm still awake.
Thanks everyone. We're gonna close out with the credits, and thanks to everybody, Don for the gifted memberships, and Jordan for the big gifted memberships, and Colin for new membership. Thanks guys for all the support. And before we close this, I just want to run my credits. Appreciate it. Let me up the music because I made this music and you got to be able to hear it. So I update this every week as memberships change. Scott Croft and Arnold and WTF Sean are our newest members, along with tonight Colin. So thanks everybody. We're going to shut it down, guys. Say goodbye.
Bye,
73, everybody. Stay safe out there. Stay prepared, and we'll see you next week on the Sunday Night Ragchew.
See y'all.
All right. Bye, y'all.